Hi everyone, welcome to rachelpichleryoga. If we haven't met before, my name is Rachel and today we're doing a nice full body flexibility practice. I'm going to use my bolster for a few things today. If you've got a cushion or a pillow of some kind to use today, that would be great, but if not, that's completely fine as well. You're going to need just a little bit of space to move, and let's get started. So let's begin today laying down on our backs. And if you do have a pillow of some kind, you might want to lay on it, or you can lay flat on your back. You may also make your diamond shape with your legs, bringing the soles of your feet together and your knees out wide to get into your hips. But try to be in a comfy-ish place. If you are feeling some love through the hips with that diamond shape, try to relax. If it's too much, you might send your legs out long. Resting your arms at your sides, let your palms face up. And just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. And do that again. Nice deep inhale. Feel your tummy expanding. Fill your body up with air. And let it go. Soften your shoulders. One more deep breath in. And out. Now you can just continue to breathe in any way that feels good for you. I'm just going to spend a few moments here to settle in. Taking this time to notice any thoughts that might be on your mind right now. Notice them and then perhaps set them off to the side and instead notice where you're feeling some love through your body today. Or maybe notice your jaw, bringing some space between your teeth. Notice your tongue maybe resting on the roof of your mouth. Or maybe just feel the breath. Listen to it if you're able, if you're in a nice quiet space. Just allowing yourself to slow down your day. Slow down your mind. Just enjoying the stillness. So you resist the urge to maybe wiggle your fingers or scratch your nose. And we're only going to stay here for about 3 more full breaths. Breathe as deep, as slow as you'd like. Whenever you think you're done that third exhale, you can start to move a little bit. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. If your knees are out wide, you can start to bring them together. If your legs are out long, bend your knees, plant your feet. If you are laying on top of a pillow of some kind, you can sit up a little bit. Slide it out from under you. Move it off to the side for now and lay flat on your back. Walk your feet a little closer towards your hips. Maybe even lift your heels as you connect your low back to your mat. A gentle rock of your knees side to side might feel good. Keep your eyes closed here. Notice how you are feeling so far today. Notice if there are any thoughts other than the practice still on your mind. And just take a deeper breath in and let those thoughts go. When you're feeling ready for it, you can either roll over to one side or rock yourself forwards. But we're going to come onto our hands and knees into tabletop. From your tabletop, we'll keep our hips nice and high, but reach your right arm out in front, nice and long. Spread your fingertips wide even. Your left hand can stay at your side for support, half a puppy dog. You're gonna melt your chest down, feeling the love through that right arm and shoulder, maybe resting your forehead or the right cheek. And as you let your chest get heavier, you may feel some love through the neck. Close your eyes, take a few breaths here. Just letting gravity pull your chest down to the ground. And if you feel like you're going too far, let that left hand that's at your side take some of your body weight. And stay for a full breath before you start to move. Maybe wiggle your fingers one at a time. And then let a big inhale help you lift your chest all the way up. Slide your right hand in. Bring both of your hands under your shoulders. Maybe take a little bit of a shoulder roll, rock of the hips. And when you're ready to switch sides, your left arm can reach out. See if you can have a nice straight arm to start. And if the elbow ends up bending, it bends. But spread those fingertips a little bit wider. Keep your hips high and just slowly melt it down. Rest your forehead or your left cheek this time. Taking as much weight into your right hand as you'd like. Or completely resisting the urge to push into that right hand. Let all of the weight go into the chest. Get a nice deep stretch for that left arm and shoulder. Maybe some love through the neck. Your right shoulder might get a little heavier too. And just breathe. Taking one last breath here. Full breath before you start to move. Letting an inhale help you lift back up. Bringing your hands under your shoulders. Take a shoulder roll of some kind if you need, a rock of the hips, whatever feels good. And then you can start to bring your right foot forwards between your hands. We're going to set up a lunge. So staying on that back knee, if you want to roll your mat over for some extra cushion. Sinking your hips forward, sinking your hips down, finding that nice left hip flexor. Keeping your chest low, gazing down at your big toe, your hands on your mat. Softening through your shoulders, sinking into the hips. You can stay here with your chest low, your hands on your mat, or you can slowly start to lift, resting your hands on your knee, sinking into the hips again, letting your shoulders fall from your ears. Maybe your eyes are able to close here. You're able to keep your balance, your breath. Or maybe you're just looking down towards the top of your mat. And if you want just a little bit extra here in our lunge, That left arm, if it's free and available to move, take an inhale, sweep it forwards. Spread your fingertips wide. Start to look up. Sink into your hips, maybe add a little bit of a back bend to this. Your right hand, if it's also free and available, maybe it finds your right hip or your back left leg. Maybe the outer edge of the back left leg. You might feel some love through that right shoulder. You might lean back just a little bit more. Sinking your hips forwards and down wherever you are. Let's stay for another inhale. And let the exhale bring us back. Bring your hands down to your mat. Drop your chest, sending your hips back for half splits. So forget about that left hip. Find the length through your right leg. Try to drop your toes towards your mat. Drop your chest towards your knee if you need more. You might feel some love for the top of the ankle, even into the shin as you push your toes down towards the mat. You might feel your hamstring as you lengthen through your leg. And your toes can stay down, or maybe you want to relax your ankle or point your toes straight up. Flex the foot, see if that changes what you feel through your hamstring, through your calf. Nice job, you guys. Using an inhale, we're going to bend back into our front knee, come into our lunge. Just walk your hands over to the left side of your front foot and start to swing your back leg behind you. So just coming up for a second so that we can set up. It's kind of like a side lunge. We're going to be sending that front knee forwards as well as the hips. Our belly button can be open to the left. You might be familiar with Warrior Two. This is half Warrior Two. Bending that front knee, kind of shifting the hips forwards. And you can stay here lifted through the chest, or you might bring your hands back down to your mat. Make some little adjustments here. Move your front foot around so you feel balanced. You feel like your knee is still pointing forwards. You might be sending your hips past that back knee, getting to the hips. And you might even be able to come down onto the forearms and relax a little bit. We're not going to stay here too long. Just try it. If you're new to this, it might be a little weird, a little awkward, but it's a pretty deep, deep hip stretch once you know where you're going. And if you did come down onto your forearms, just slowly start to come back up. Pivot your way back so that you're in just a normal lunge, facing forwards. Your back leg is on your mat again. Sink into your hips one more time. And then start to relax. Plant your hands and send your right leg back into your tabletop. Take a second to rock your hips side to side a couple times. Shake it out a little bit. When you're ready to switch sides, our left foot's going to be coming forwards, setting up our lunge, sinking into the hips. Roll your mat over again if you need that extra cushion. Keep your chest low, your hands on your mat to start. Find that hip flexor before you go any further than this. Got nice open hips today. Try to gently pull your front foot and your back knee towards one another. If you still don't feel that nice hip flexor, widen your stance between your front foot and your back knee. Nice work, you guys. Since we are here for a few breaths, no worries if you want to just keep your chest low, your hands on your mat. If you do want to start to lift up, you can lift your chest. Just reset though. Resist pushing into that front foot to sneak you out of the lunge. Your hips are very clever. Your legs are very clever. Rest your hands on your front knee, but be light through them. Let your shoulders fall from your ears. Find your breath. Maybe close your eyes if you can keep the balance. And if your right arm is available, use a big inhale, sweep it up in front, spread your fingertips a little bit, maybe start to look up, lift your chest a little bit. The left hand can stay on your knee or your left hip, or maybe sweep behind you, resting on your back leg. You can take this into as much of a back bend as feels good for you today. Sinking into the hips. Feel the breath. Feel the nice deep stretch. And one last inhale. Letting the exhale bring you back. Planting your hands. Send your hips back for your half split. Forget about your right hip now. Push the ball of your foot and your toes down towards the floor, your mat. Try to stretch the top of the ankle into the shin a little bit, maybe dropping the chest just slightly more. And then either staying here or switching up your foot, maybe pointing your toes up towards the ceiling or the sky above you if you're lucky enough to be outside right now. Nice job, you guys. Using an inhale, let's bend back into our front knee, back into our lunge, sinking into those hips. We're going to start to pivot now, moving our hands over to the right side of our foot and swing our back leg behind us for our half warrior two. I'm just going to flip around here. So you can lift all the way up and reset. Making sure your front knee is tracking forwards. You're kind of sending those hips forwards as well a little bit, but your belly button shining to that right side. Pretend you're in warrior two, if that makes things easier, or maybe you've got it. You feel more supported with your hands down on the ground in front of you. Make those adjustments. Make sure your front foot is in a good place where you feel balanced. So probably underneath that front knee. Toes pointing towards the top of your mat. Option to go a little deeper if your hips allow you to do so. Lowering to the forearms or maybe halfway there. Find your breath. Let go of any expectations or weirdness you're feeling, discomfort that you're feeling. And then you can start to come back up. If you did come down, turn your way back so that you're in a lunge, sinking into those hips one more time. Find that right hip flexor again. Keep your hands down, your chest low, look at your nice big toe. And eventually planting your hands and bringing your front leg back into your tabletop, taking a few moments to shake things out a little or be still. Just notice how your hips, your legs are feeling. And then we'll just cross our ankles. Have a seat. So bringing your legs out in front and then laying down on your back. Coming all the way down onto your back. So if you do have a pillow of some kind to use today, you can start to slide it underneath your low back, underneath your hips. And then we're going to be lifting our legs up into the air. So you can start to bring your knees towards your chest and then lengthening your legs a little bit. Maybe if the feet want to float higher, you can always slide your pillow further away so that it's assisting you and helping your legs stay lifted. And if you don't have a pillow to use today, you could hang onto the back of your legs or hold your legs up all on their own. Just taking the weight out of the feet, out of the ankles. Getting lighter throughout the legs and heavier through the low back, the mid back, the upper back. And you can stay just like this in your supported shoulder stand, or you might let your knees come closer to your chest, your feet fall towards your forehead. You might start to lift your low back off of your pillow or your mat and come into a recline forward fold or plow pose if your feet are going to touch the floor above your head. And if your low back is lifted, just slowly start to bring it back down. Let your legs float back up. Connecting your low back, letting your feet also find the floor again. If you have your hips resting on something, just stay there for a moment. Plant your feet. Keep your knees bent. Close your eyes again, if you haven't done so already. Come back to your breath. Scan your body all the way from your toes to the crown of your head. If you are laying on a cushion, you can slide it out from under you, maybe just push it down so it's out from under your hips, but it's under your legs. And if a gentle rock side to side with the knees feels good, you can go for a gentle rock of the knees. And maybe sliding your pillow a little further down so it's resting under your knees. And you can extend your legs out a little longer, out a little wider. Let your feet kind of flop out to the sides. Feel the back of your head pressing into your mat. And relax through your legs a little bit more. Soften your hips. And as always, I encourage you to stay here in Shavasana for as long as you have time for today. Just you, your breath, the peace, the quiet. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy your day. And until next time, namaste.